Welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and in today's video we're going to have a look at the latest from the live radar, run through the weather warnings as we do have a yellow thunderstorm warning issued for central parts of England today for some scattered thunderstorms. Nothing too severe, and as we'll see on the live radar in a minute, nothing too widespread, but still impactful where they do occur. We'll then have a look at the UKV, look at the precipitation and the temperature over the next 5 days, so we're going to see some big changes as we head through the next 5-day period. So starting off with scattered thunderstorms, generally warm, humid conditions, and by the weekend it's going to be turning quite hot for many regions, especially eastern England, where we could see 32, 33 or maybe as high as 34 degrees on Sunday afternoon before cool air comes in off the Atlantic through Sunday evening for all, and by Monday we're all in a fresher air mass with temperatures down to the low 20s with more unsettled, showery conditions and weather fronts approaching the north and west. And that pattern will continue on the longer range with the GFS, GM, East and WF and the ensembles, as many of these runs are showing more of a dynamic westerly flow with more low pressure systems making an impact, not only increasing the risk of showers and longer spells of rain, but also cooling those temperatures down more towards average for the time of year. But there is still the risk into early July we could see some spikes of heat because this big high pressure system we've had around for the last few weeks that's generated a lot of the warmth is just going to be sitting to our south, generating a lot of heat over the Mediterranean and southern Europe. So if we did see a brief southerly flow, we could tap into some very hot air very quickly, and that is a possibility in the next few weeks as well. So do remember, if you enjoy my videos, make sure you like and subscribe, and remember to follow me on Twitter as well, the link's in the description. So if we do start on the live radar, you can see these pop-up thunderstorms we do have at the moment. So we've got one area of, or a large area of rain through parts of East Anglia. This looks now like a decaying thunderstorm with no active torrential rain within it, so likely sort of decaying away. Got a few thunderstorms across parts of the Midlands here, up towards Nottingham, Coventry, Rugby, Wolverhampton. A few thundery cells here, again pretty localised. A shower down towards Newport, and then across parts of northern Wales as well. So nothing too severe, but in these localised regions where they do occur, could see some torrential rain for a time being. And through the rest of this evening, there is the risk for more pop-up storms, even further southwards where we haven't got much going on. Could be a few pop-up showers here or there, but once again, nothing too widespread, with most regions reasonably dry and reasonably pleasant. You can see across parts of Europe, we've got a big area of showery rain and thunderstorms breaking out. Again, an area of low pressure developing within the very warm, humid air mass. But we still have generally high pressure nearby or dominating over the next few days. It's going to be warm and that heat is going to build. Widely temperatures are in the mid to high 20s today, peaking around 27 or 28 degrees right now across parts of southern England. Again, locally higher and lower depending on sunshine amounts and any of that cloud associated with the convection and thunderstorm cells that are breaking out in a few regions. But another widely warm day, temperatures well above average and getting up towards those mid to high 20s. Now, if you look at the weather warnings, we do have this thunderstorm warning issued for central parts of England today. It expires at 8 PM this evening. Heavy showers and thunderstorms causing some flooding and disruption in a few places. High likelihood, lower end of the impact matrix. Again, it's for scattered heavy showers and thunderstorms are expected from late Thursday morning. Many places will miss them, as we saw on the live radar. Most areas are not seeing much at all. 20mm may fall in less than an hour, with 30mm possible in a few hours in one or two places. Lightning will also be an additional hazard, and the showers and thunderstorms will then steadily die out during the Thursday evening. So highly likely that they will occur, as we're seeing on the live radar right now, but the impact of them is nowhere near as high as it has been over the past few weeks. Again, really localised areas of torrential rain. So if you are going out and about this evening, do take a look at the live radar, look out your windows. You'll be able to see these storm cells building if they do occur. So if you go over to the UKV now and have a look at the precipitation and the temperature over the next 5 days, we'll be able to see that it does turn more unsettled and turning cooler as well. See through this afternoon, those scattered thunderstorms breaking out, peaking around the time I'm recording this around 3, 4, 5 PM before eventually decaying away this evening. See a large area of rain moving from the west for tomorrow. Again, could give some heavier rain in places, but really focus in northern and western regions, not really making much progress further eastwards as high pressure holds on. See another area of rain moving for Saturday, but it does clear for most on Saturday afternoon. And you can see by Saturday afternoon, Generally warm and dry further south and eastwards, but still clouds bubbling up further north and westwards, a few heavy showers. Some more heavy thundery rain moving in there. You can see some really heavy rain within this, likely to see line convection, something we don't normally see this time of year, as it's associated with very strong temperature gradients as a cold front sweeps in. But this time of year, we've got very hot air to our east, and we've got some very cold Atlantic air coming in behind it, North Atlantic air. So we are developing a big area of low pressure here, and it is producing some quite substantial line convection. So it could be some really lively conditions in the west. But eventually, that weather front does peter out a bit as it progresses eastwards, clearing finally the far south and east by Sunday evening, with some heavier showers further northwards, but not producing much precipitation further southwards here. But what this does mean is by Monday, things will be slightly more unsettled, more cloud around, more showers in the north. They're not quite as heavy as the air mass, it's less humid, less hot, so less energy, and we're just seeing areas of lighter rain push in from the west there into Tuesday, as we're in a much cooler air mass. You can see some of the 850 HPA temperatures, at least initially into Monday, cooler air mass before some slightly warmer air arrives for Tuesday, but again, it is just in a warmer sector of a low pressure system. If you look at the max temperatures, you'll be able to see that we do really peak those temperatures over the coming days. At the moment, peak temperatures around 26 to 28 degrees today. Into tomorrow, once again, could see those temperatures peak around the 27, 28, maybe 29 in the south and east. Very localised or regional high temperatures here, further northwards and westwards, much cooler. Into Saturday, those temperatures may jump slightly higher, up towards 28 or 29 in a few spots. Again, widely through England and getting into parts of Wales and southern Scotland, and then finally Sunday could be the hottest day. Look at that, widely 30 to 32 degrees. Wouldn't be surprised to see a 33 or 34 locally, somewhere across central or eastern England. It's that really hot air mass getting pushed up from the south, very temporarily on the leading edge of the low pressure system, for eventually it will get swept away. Parts of Republic of Ireland only 16 to 18 degrees, just showing you the temperature contrast in the air mass. And look at Monday afternoon temperatures widely towards the mid to low 20s instead, almost a 10 degree temperature drop in some regions as much cooler air does move back in. So you can see it is peaking, culminating in some very hot conditions, maybe on Saturday, definitely looking likely in the east on Sunday, before we see a big drop into Monday as much fresher, cooler air moves in. You can sort of see this from the dew points dropping down to the low single digits by Monday, but look on Sunday afternoon, areas in the east, or areas still in the mid-teens, around that sort of 10 plus degree range, especially through Saturday, as eventually that hot, humid air gets swept away. If you look at the longer range now, we'll be able to see what happens from the latest GFS. High pressure still maintaining its strength to our south, and that does pull up that southerly flow just ahead of the low pressure system moving in this weekend. Brings up the very hot air before getting swept away by low pressure, and then we see more of a westerly flow with the wind direction. Look at that coming in from southern parts of Greenland. So much cooler conditions, but still not cold, more towards average for the time of year. As we progress beyond that, we could see more low pressure systems moving in, and right into the longer range, there's a possibility, as I said, very hot air is building to our south. We could draw up a southerly flow temporarily as high pressure builds to our east, and this could build a big heat spike. So do look back at those upper air temperatures. You can see some very hot air to our south, gets dragged up temporarily through Sunday for eventually into some fresher air masses. Still be some warm air within it temporarily, but really only peaking at certain points. But look, as we head into the longer range, look at that, very hot air is getting swept up from the south, as there is the possibility of a southerly flow. And this is all because that high pressure system sitting to our south really building in some intense heat here. And if we do actually have a look at the 2 meter temperatures from this, or first temperature deviation well above average, and then the 2 meter temperatures for this, you can see by 6 p.m. here, widely getting up towards the high 20s, maybe into the low 30s again. Will be issues because of thunderstorms and showers and cloud, but you can see across the near continent, 36 to 37 degrees, maybe even an isolated 38 appearing there, just showing you the strength of the air mass. So that is a possibility into the longer term, again into the first week of July. We'll just have to see how this does develop. If you check out the GM, again, high pressure is trying to stay in control of the coming days. We're getting swept away by that low pressure system, pushing that hot air away. And right into the longer range, we stay unsettled, and towards day 10, we're actually really cool and unsettled here with a northerly flow, much fresher air. You can see all the hot air is just trapped to our south. So again, If we do build up a southerly wind, we will tap into that hot air very quickly. But at this point, temperature deviation well below average. And if we look at the 2-meter temperatures here, for the midday point, struggling around the mid to high teens, maybe an isolated 20 degrees, so a really quite cool sort of pattern. The dew points are pretty chilly as well, especially in northern regions, mid to high single digits, again with that airflow coming in directly from the north. So yeah, pretty cool pattern, not particularly great at all, and yeah, would keep us unsettled and cold into the longer term as we do head into early July. Have to really keep a close eye on it. As you saw from the larger sort of European view, the hot air is very close by just to our south, so a very subtle change in wind direction would draw hot air our way, so we'll just have to keep an eye on what happens with that. If you check out the ECMWF now, again, high pressure building or maintaining its strength, low pressure eventually pushing all its way in, and then we stay again under low pressure all the way to day 10. This would be very unsettled, really quite horrible. Again, hot air not too far away, just towards southern France and the Mediterranean, but here we're generally average, if not hovering below or slightly above. And yeah, there'll be a lot of rain associated with this. You can see all this rainfall falling, and this would be very, very showery. And if we did get a bit of warm air trapped within it at times, could see some big thunderstorms as well, with a lot of instability and a lot of lift around with the low pressure system. So yeah, not looking great. Both GM and ECMWF going for this quite strong low pressure system at day 10. Again, we have to keep a very close eye on it. Things can change very, very quickly. And again, that positioning that low, 1,000 miles further westwards, which is entirely possible at the day 10 range, it would be drawing up that hot air from the south. Equally, further eastwards, high pressure would build in, and it'd be more settled and probably warmer as well. Now, if you finish by looking at the ensembles, we can see this all well reflected here. Temperatures peaking in the coming days up towards around the 13 or 14 degree range at 850 HVA, allowing temperatures to get towards the 30 degree mark, if not slightly higher. Then we see a drop, and then we're sort of oscillating around average, but generally just around or slightly above as we head towards the end of June and start of July. The operational run here just has some quite big heat spikes here. Again, that will be with the low pressures moving in, drawing up some very hot air, so we could see some very up and down temperatures with this. But the overall trend is for temperatures to be slightly cooler, but still around average or slightly above. And you can see the precipitation still generally moderate. Nothing too huge at this stage, as again, those positioning of the low pressure systems will not be particularly well resolved, but low pressure around, so still showery outlook. Look at the 2-meter temperatures. Hot this weekend, getting up towards the 30 degree mark at midday, so as said by 3 p.m. most likely a lot higher. And you can see as we head beyond that, generally temperatures around the low to mid 20s. Again, will be very much dependent on the specific upper air temperatures of the day, the specific pressure pattern, and precipitation and things like that. Also view the dew point, again, quite high this weekend and slowly dropping. Again, not dropping substantially, but dropping by a good few degrees, which does make a difference to the feel-like temperatures. And you can see the sea level pressure generally dropping in the longer term as well. Nothing too substantial, still showing signs of high pressure around, but not quite as dominant as it's been recently. And just to finish, compared to the ECMWF, very similar. Quite a hot climax this upcoming weekend. We see a drop, and they're sort of oscillating around or around average, slightly above, slightly below for the coming days, and generally finishing up at average as we head into early July with increasing precipitation. So more of a mixed end of June and start of July here. Still could see some hot conditions at times. There could still be some peaks in upper air temperatures, but the sort of persistent warmth and hot conditions we've had for the last few weeks is now looking likely to end as we head towards Monday, with things looking likely to be more changeable, more unsettled, and very up and down in terms of those temperatures as well. Not looking at anything cold, but perhaps more towards average, back towards the low 20s, or maybe even high teens in some regions. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you have enjoyed. Do cherish the next few days if you do enjoy hot, humid weather. But if you're looking for something a little bit more changeable, a bit more of widespread rain and cooler conditions, then it's looking likely we're going to see an end to this quite oppressive run we've had. We haven't seen ridiculous temperatures, but it's been quite humid, and we've had our fair share of hot days in the last few weeks, and it's likely this sort of streak of persistent warm/hot conditions for quite a few is going to be ending on Monday. So hopefully some people are looking forward to that as well. So as I said, thanks for watching. Hope you have enjoyed. Do stay safe out there, and I'll see you again for another video soon.